What is going on, guys? Styx here with the Token Minorities, bringing you Week 7 of Season 5 of the PPL D-League, or D2 as they call it, but I mean, it's the D-League, let's be real. And this week we are up against David/Magick and his FC Popplio, so he is an incredible player, so I'm really going to have to bring my A-game on this one. And before we get into the team, just a reminder that if you guys like this video or found it helpful, please leave a like, drop a comment, and click that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton, and lets us do more cool stuff for you guys. And if you are new to the channel, feel free to check out the TTM Discord that will be linked in the description. We have channels for all of our draft format teams, as well as one for Smogon and one for TCG if you are into that stuff as well. But yeah, anyway, on to the team. First and foremost, you might notice that I did make some changes to my team. I now have Skarmory, Mew, Swampert, Alolan Raichu, and then Zangoose will be added next week. But unfortunately, with the rules in the PPL, I had to decide on a Mon that I wouldn't be able to use for this week, that I would only be able to pick up next week, and Zangoose unfortunately was the Mon that did not quite make the cut. So yeah, I mean, this week we have the Skarmory, the Mew, the Swampert, and the Alolan Raichu, which I think definitely can come in handy. I mean, now I have a core of Tapu Koko, Zardex, and Mew. I mean, that's insane. I couldn't believe that Mew was a free agent, so as soon as I saw that, I knew that I had to do something to get Mew onto my team, just because it's so versatile. It is the versatile Mon. And with Tapu Koko and Zard, I know that this can definitely be a very, very, very threatening team if played correctly. But anyway, like I said, we are up against Magick and his FC Popplio, and he's an incredible player, like I said. So this is going to be very tough with Stakataka, Hydreigon, Nidoqueen Superior, Comfey, Uxie, Keldeo, Gligar, Mega Glalie, Electric, and Araquanid, with Stakataka and Araquanid being the Z-Mon. So those two are very solid Z-Mons. Araquanid just hits insanely hard. And the first thing I'm noticing looking at his team is that I don't have an Ice Resist. Like, I just don't. My Steel type is Skarmory, and it does not like taking Ice attacks. I mean, it can, but Special Glalie gives me a lot of trouble. Swampert is not a resist due to that ground typing, so really, I'm just going to have to try to figure out a way to deal with Mega Glalie as best I can, and then, like, Hydreigon and Superior are very annoying, as well as Keldeo and Nidoqueen. So, I mean, he has good answers to my stuff. However, I do think that I have enough to be able to deal with him and be enough threats to his team. I mean, Tapu Koko just goes in once I'm able to get rid of Nidoqueen, so Tapu Koko is going to be kind of a lure for Nidoqueen. And then also Mew and Charizard both just destroy him if I'm able to get the opportunity to set up in the proper situation. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is in terms of just looking at the teams. I definitely am afraid of his team, and there are things that I have to deal with, but I think that I do have the capability of doing them with the team that I have. So the 6 Mons that I'm going to be bringing are Tapu Koko, Mega Charizard X, Skarmory, Decidueye, Mew, and Swampert. So Tapu Koko, let's start with that. I'm bringing Tapunium Z with Nature's Madness, Roost, Thunderbolt, Hidden Power, Ice. So, I mean, just very straightforward. Bolt Beam coverage gets most of his team. Nature's Madness is able to just take 50% off of whatever wants to switch in. And then Z, Nature's Madness, is specifically for Nidoqueen, as Nature's Madness into HP Ice should kill Nidoqueen. I mean, unless it's like insanely Spadef or Ayapapa or Yachi, just something to interrupt that. Tapu Koko should be able to take out Nidoqueen if I'm able to catch it on the switch with the Tapunium Z. So I'm pretty much going to be looking for that in terms of my Tapu Koko. And I should be able to get it with relative ease, I would want to say. The EV spread is fairly straightforward as well, with the speed to be enough for Superior, and I was actually able to outspeed it with a modest nature. However, I did want to be able to take hits from Hydreigon, as my team really doesn't have any switch-ins per se to it, as, I mean, just look at the team that I have now. So, I mean, this team really doesn't have any switch-ins to Hydreigon per se. So, if I ran Modest, yes, I'd be able to hit a little bit harder, but I wouldn't have as much bulk. So, running Timid allows me to have a little bit more in HP to allow Tapu Koko to be able to switch into resisted Dark Pulses, as if Hydreigon is Scarfed, that is the biggest threat to me. If it's not Scarfed, then I have 3 Mons that outspeed it, so it's much less, actually 4 Mons with the Decidueye that outspeed it. Spoilers, it's a Scarf. That outspeed it. So Scarf Hydreigon is the biggest threat to me. So really, I just wanted to have something that could switch into Dark Pulse and just keep him from being able to spam it freely and do a ton of damage to my team. So that's why I decided on Timid with a good amount of HP investment. That's also why there's Roost there, just to be able to recover off damage from the Hydreigon if it's locked into things like Dark Pulse and whatnot, and then just max special attack hit as hard as possible, and then 8 and 4 to maximize my EVs. I still have that 4 left over, but unfortunately it just couldn't go into anything, so kind of stinks right there. Next up, we do have the Mega Charizard X, and this set was actually something that I tinkered with for quite a while. Now, just starting off, I started with Dragon Dance 3 attacks. I mean, that's the most standard Charizard set, and I mean, looking at his team, it does work. I mean, just the coverage of Flare Blitz, Earthquake, and Dragon Claw / Outrage does a ton of damage to his team to where I'd be able to relatively easily break through it. However, I did notice that things like Uxie and Gligar could sponge, well, not nicely, but they would be able to take a +1 hit and either respond with an Earthquake or a Toxic or a Thunder Wave in the case of Uxie, all of which would slow down or even in some cases inhibit my potential sweep. So I wanted ways of just being able to blow past those things in order to work around it. Eventually I came up with Double Dance because, I mean, Dragon Dance and Swords Dance just take advantage of whatever situation I'm presented with, and the combination of Flare Blitz plus Brick Break hits his team insanely hard. Brick Break is obviously for the things that resist Flare Blitz, and then Flare Blitz just covers everything else. I mean, +2 Flare Blitz absolutely destroys Gligar. If Gligar isn't defensive, it has no chance of living a +2 Flare Blitz. So I'm really, I mean, Araquanid does deal with this as water damage is, as fire damage is halved by Water Bubble, but I'm not thinking he's going to immediately bring in Araquanid on Charizard, as Araquanid does not have the best defense. But regardless, Flare Blitz plus Brick Break does do work on his team, and so that was the coverage that I ended up going with. The speed is for Hydreigon, that way if I get to +1, Scarf Hydreigon will not be able to revenge kill me, and the attack is to OHKO Hydreigon at +1 with the Brick Break from full. Now this isn't like HP invested Hydreigon that I calced with, it's just regular 252, 252 Hydreigon. So, I mean, that's not obviously an optimized Hydreigon spread, but I'm thinking that, okay, rocks are going to be up, maybe he'll take damage earlier. So, I mean, that's just a decent number to hit early on, as it'll give me a good enough chance to OHKO it after rocks. Just, it was a nice attack number to hit while still having some HP to give me more opportunities to get set up, like taking Scalds from Keldeo, maybe a Dragon Pulse from Superior, from a non-+2 Superior, that type of thing, Dark Pulse from a Choice-Locked Hydreigon, and whatnot. So that's what I ended up going with. It's just fairly straightforward. Double Dance, Flare Blitz, Brick Break, Charizard. Next up, we do have Skarmory. Now, Skarmory, I needed rocks, I needed Defog, as Charizard very, very, very much needs Defog in order to function, as with its 4x weakness before Mega Evolving, it just cannot switch into rocks. So, kind of unfortunate right there. But Skarmory is one of the most reliable defoggers in the game, so it's great that I am able to have that thing to rely on. And also, it is a complete stop to Stack Attacka, which I find, honestly, kind of awesome, so I really don't have to worry about that thing as much. Yes, Continental Crush can do a ton, but with Roost, I actually am able to, well, I don't necessarily think beat it 1v1 because Brave Bird does absolutely nothing, but I do stop Stack Attacka from potentially being able to sweep me, and I do stall it out. So my set is going to be Roost, Defog, Stealth Rock, and Brave Bird, just very straightforward. Defog and Rock set, just get rid of them and get mine back up. Roost up to be able to switch into things and roost off the damage. And then Brave Bird just to not be completely shut down by taunt. Maybe hit like a Keldeo or a Superior trying to stay in and get extra damage off on me, that type of thing. I'm not really thinking Brave Bird's going to be overly useful, but I mean, it's also something that I can use to stall out Gligar. Like if I get in a 1v1 war with Gligar, Brave Bird will be able to wear it down while I do PP stall that thing out. So it's just a very nice stab to have that can hit hard enough when I need it. Now the EVs look like I'm outspeeding something in particular, but really I'm just very, very aggressively creeping with Skarmory. Like I would think that, okay, normally I put 20 EVs of speed into my defensive mons, but my opponent might know that and know my tendency to put 20 speed as a baseline investment on defensive mons to try to creep speed creeping, so he might put in 28 to outspeed that, or he might speed creep Skarmory with the equivalent of 28 speed on Skarmory. But, so I'm trying to speed creep that speed creep. So basically I'm just trying to create a bunch of mind games into the speed that I put into my defensive mons so that I don't have tendencies to be just putting the same amount of speed on my defensive mons at all times. So that's what the 36 speed comes from. And then just 252 and then 220 with an Impish Nature to be able to take hits from Mega Glalie and Stack Attack as well as possible. This thing is my answer to them. Otherwise, Stack Attack and Glalie can do a lot of work to my team. Next up, we have my speed control in Decidueye, Scarf Decidueye to be specific, and this thing is actually really amazing in this matchup as it deals with both Superior and Keldeo. Keldeo's dual stab is completely resisted by Decidueye. I mean, fighting does absolutely nothing thanks to my ghost typing. And then Decidueye actually has really good Spit F at 100, so I'm able to sponge Scalds and Hydro Pumps very well. And then Superior Leaf Storm, I believe, does like 27% maximum. Like that's, to this Decidueye set, a Leaf Storm from a Superior does 25% maximum. That is absolutely insane. And then also just being able to U-turn, Leaf Blade, Brave Bird, Spirit Shackle, that type of thing, just... yeah, I mean, Keldeo and Superior, this thing is my check to both of them. I'm able to U-turn, kill them with Brave Bird or Leaf Blade, get momentum, outspeed stuff. Decidueye is just very, very awesome in this matchup. And just a fairly straightforward in terms of the moves. And then the EVs look a little funky, but they actually work out very well. So initially, I made Decidueye jolly with enough speed to outspeed Superior, and then just threw the EVs around here and there, gave it some Spit F to be able to take hits better, yada yada yada. But I realized when trying to maximize my set that simply just max speed Decidueye hit the perfect number to outspeed max speed Superior with a, well, obviously with a choice scarf because Decidueye can't even come close naturally, but with a scarf, Decidueye with max speed and a neutral speed nature is able to outspeed Superior, which was kind of awesome, while still having close to max attack. I mean, I still put 4, 4, and 4 to maximize my EVs, but then run a careful nature just to take hits from Superior and Keldeo that much better. So it actually worked out really, really nicely, and this thing is an amazing response. I mean, it takes nothing from what I'm expecting to be Scarf Keldeo, and then Superior just, he's not going to bring Scarf Superior as I abuse it getting locked into one move with too many different mons on my team, so he's not going to bring Scarf Superior, but Scarf Keldeo, this thing will take absolutely nothing from it. Next up is a potential win con in Calm Mind, Psyshock, Aurasphere, Soft-Boiled Mew. Now, this is my second time bringing offensive Mew. I believe I brought it in one of the JAL weeks, and it didn't go out, and it didn't go very well for me, but this matchup, Mew's incredible. I mean, once I get rid of Uxie, or once I get Uxie toxic, this Mew just goes in. Calm Mind, and then with Psychic and Fighting coverage, hits his entire team. Stack Attack and Hydreigon both resist Psychic. They are destroyed by Aurasphere. And then Psyshock just covers his team well. Hits Keldeo super effectively. Superior hits that very hard. Hits Keldeo super effective. Did I say Keldeo or did I say Nidoqueen? I was looking at Nidoqueen. I think I said Keldeo. But either way, hits Nidoqueen and Keldeo super effectively. Aurasphere hits Stack Attack, Hydreigon, and Mega Glalie super effectively. Psyshock, the fact that it's Psyshock over Psychic, hits Araquanid on its weaker defense. So basically Mew, if I get up to +1, can actually do a huge chunk of damage to his team and actually has the potential to sweep given the opportunity. So just fairly straightforward. I have recovery, I have boosting, and then I have all the coverage that I really need against his team. And then the EVs, enough speed for Hydreigon, obviously, because, I mean, if he's Scarfed, again, that's not as much of a problem. And also, I'll just be able to outspeed it and hit it with an Aura Sphere if I need to, if he's not Scarfed. But the HP and the special defense was maximized so I could have as much HP as possible so that I could take just random physical hits, but in addition be able to live 2 Scarf Dark Pulses once I get to +1. This allows my Mew to beat Scarf Hydreigon 1v1 if he tries to switch in on my Calm Mind. So it's just a very nice situation for Mew, just be able to take hits a lot better, gives me more opportunities to set up on things like Nidoqueen, Keldeo, that type of thing. Just take hits better, more opportunities to set up, and hit his team insanely hard. And finally, we have Swampert. Swampert is going to be my answer to Nidoqueen, because really I have nothing else on my team that wants to switch into Nidoqueen. Yes, I do have a Decidueye that has a good amount of SPDF, but it's obviously offensive, and it doesn't have any recovery. Swampert is specifically designed to be able to take on Nidoqueen and not necessarily just switch in throughout the entire game, but just delay it long enough to where I can get it low enough for the rest of my team to be able to take it out. Protect, Scald, Toxic, Earthquake, just fairly straightforward. I have Rocks on Skarmory. I could have put them on Swampert, but I decided that Protect was easier. Scout out the potential choice sets from Hydreigon and Keldeo, maybe even just Protect, see what he wanted to go for. But really, being able to Protect on potential scouts, on potential Scarfers, is amazing, because Hydreigon, like I said, is a huge problem for me, but if I know what move it's locked into, it is much less of an issue. Tapu Koko takes on everything that isn't Flash Cannon or Earth Power, and Skarmory takes on Flash Cannon and Earth Power. So if the Hydreigon is Scarfed, then Protect just allows it to become a non-issue if it tries to come in on Swampert. And then also things like burning the Z-move from Araquanid. Araquanid very well may come, and it very possibly could be Waterium Z to try to just nuke my Skarmory, as that's going to be my switch into it. But Protect will actually allow me to not only scout that out, but also burn the Z-move and take minimal damage from it. Because, I mean, Araquanid is a great switch into Swampert. It can't be burnt by Scald, and Swampert really can't hit it for much damage otherwise. So if he brings Araquanid, Protect allows me to scout out that potential Z-move and makes it much less of a threat, but it's mainly for the scouting of potential choice mons. Then we have Scald, just a good spammable move against his team. Yeah, if he goes into Superior or Keldeo or Hydreigon, they take nothing, but there is the potential to burn, which is always nice. Toxic is if I know he's going to go into Superior or Keldeo just to get a little bit more reliable residual damage, that type of thing. And then Earthquake to hit Stack Attacka, hit the Nidoqueen harder. Just basically, if I want to hit harder than Scald, I'm going to go for Earthquake. So, I mean, really not a whole lot right there. And then the EVs, enough SPDF to be able to take 2 modest Life Orb Earth Powers from Nidoqueen with Rocks. So yes, Swampert is not going to be able to beat Nidoqueen 1v1. Like, it never will be able to beat Nidoqueen 1v1. Well, I mean, I guess if they're both in at the same time, but that's beside the point. It's never going to be able to switch in and beat Nidoqueen 1v1. All I need is just a little bit of damage on it so that things like Charizard and Tapu Koko are able to take it out later in the game. So Swampert is really just a stall. Or not, okay, not stall in the sense of, oh, I'm just not going to play the game, I'm just going to switch into my bulky stuff. It's just a delay more than anything. So, yeah, that is the team, and let's hop right on over to the battle. Alrighty, so here we are in the battle, and the first thing I'm noticing is that he did not bring the Mega Glalie, so that is a pretty mega issue that I don't have to deal with. I'm sorry, that was a horrible joke. Let's just pretend that it didn't happen. But yeah, I mean, looking at his team, I mean, he brought the Electric, which I'm pretty sure is just a meme. But I mean, still, it's something that can potentially switch into Koko. I mean, it's something that if I wasn't, well, I mean, if I'm not, which I'm not, Calm Mind Koko, I cannot beat 1v1 if he's like Rest or something like that. So, I mean, that's actually something that's going to be a little bit annoying, but seeing that it did bring the Araquanid, I'm thinking that, okay, he might have Sticky Web, and if he does have Sticky Web, he might try to get that up early. So, seeing as I have a pretty decent matchup against the rest of his team, I mean, I'm going to lead with my Skarmory so that I can potentially get up rocks immediately. I mean, the things that I do not lead well against are the Keldeo, the Hydreigon, and the Nidoqueen, all of which I do have responses to in my Decidueye and Swampert. So I have better switches in if I have Skarmory out than if I had like Decidueye or Swampert out. So that's what I'm going to do. As I do lead Skarmory, he leads with his Electric, and I'm just going to take this turn to get up rocks. Whatever Electric wants to do, I don't really care, as, I mean, it can Volt Switch, but it's not going to do a whole lot, and he just goes straight into his Nidoqueen. Now, I have my rocks up. I know he's going to get his rocks up, and I could Brave Bird, but the better play is just to go into Swampert, as I can hit this thing harder anyway. And now that Swampert's in, I'm just going to immediately fire off a Scald. If he wants to go into Serperior, I potentially get a burn, I get damage off on whatever comes in, as Electric comes in, takes the Scald very well. So I mean, this is obviously a defensive Electric. I mean, to be fair, nobody in their right mind would try to run offensive Electric against my team, or just against a draft format team in general, and thinking that, okay, I mean, Electric does get Giga Drain, but first of all, I'm Spidef Swampert, so I can first of all take that. Second of all, I don't think he's just going to go immediately for Giga Drain. I think he's going to go either for a U-turn to scout what my play is, or for another middle of the road move like Toxic or something like that. So I'm just going to take this turn, get a Toxic on it, as it does not have leftovers. It has to have Eviolite to be able to take hits well. So Toxic is going to be racking up, damaging that thing as he goes for the Acid Spray, which lowers my Spidef. And now that I see that, well, first of all, I'm going to get back to full health with my leftovers, which is amazing. And now that my Spidef is lowered, I'm like, okay, I'm going into Skarmory. Like, he is 1000% going to go for Giga Drain right here. I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to go straight into my Skarmory, as I can just roost to beat this thing. As he makes a very good play, goes for U-turn, and is able to catch me on that. But, I mean, he goes into his Nidoqueen, which, I mean, is just fine with me. Skarmory is still at very high health. Swampert's at 100%. I designed Swampert to be able to take on this Nidoqueen, as he just goes for the Fire Blast. That does nothing at all. And at this point, Swampert is in. I'm going to be able to get some good damage off on whatever. So again, just going to go for the Scald. Yes, we are going through these same turns, it seems like, over and over, but I'm winning this. Like, my rocks are up. Electric is almost dead. Nidoqueen, I can bring in Swampert whenever I need to take care of that. So I'm in a good spot right now. As he goes Electric, takes the Scald, gets poisoned, and I'm not going to bother predicting. I'm just going to go straight to Skarmory. If he goes for T-Bolt, good on him, but he could either go for U-turn, or he could go for Giga Drain at this point, or Acid Spray. I mean, Acid Spray, all of those are moves that Skarmory comes in on easily, as he does end up going for the Giga Drain. That does literally zero, so I'm just going to take this opportunity. Electros is going to be going down. I'm just going to keep my Skarmory at as high health as possible. As he does go for the T-Bolt, that does a pretty nice chunk, but I will be able to 1v1 this Electros in the end just by continually roosting, still being at well, around 70% depending on the rolls he gets with T-Bolt. But he does go for the U-turn, switches out, so that means my Skarmory is going to be at full health no matter what he goes into, as he goes into his Hydreigon. Now, okay, Hydreigon's in. I have a Spidef Swampert. I'm just going to go into that thing, scout out. I don't want to go into my Tapu Koko just yet, as that I need that thing later. So he goes for the Dark Pulse, does a decent amount. It tells me that he is not Specs or Life Orb, so that is very, very good to know. But now I'm worried about Scarf. So he's going to go for another Dark Pulse. I'm just going to go for a Toxic, wear down whatever wants to come in, because, I mean, he's not going to switch in Nidoqueen onto Swampert. If anything, he's going to go Keldeo or Serperior, and regardless, I just wanted to get some residual damage off on whatever came in. I mean, like I said, Nidoqueen wasn't switching in. He could have sacked off Electric. He could have gone into Araquanid. No matter what he went into, Toxic, I thought, was the best plan. I mean, it still gets off more damage on this Hydreigon than Scald would have. So now I have the Hydreigon Toxic. I will be able to live another Dark Pulse, but I'm going to bust out the Protect. Just get a little more damage on this Hydreigon, get it a little bit lower, and now my Swampert's back at 50%, so I can take another Dark Pulse for sure, but I figure no need to do that. Let's just go into my Tapu Koko. I'm thinking that this Hydreigon is scarfed at this point, so I go into my Koko and I get crit right here, which is actually very unfortunate, because had my Tapu Koko not got crit, I would have just gone for the HPIs to knock him out. But I mean, as you can see, it will not end up mattering at all, as he does sack off his Electric as I go for the Roost. So I mean, again, doesn't matter at all. It just means that Tapu Koko is at 95% instead of 100. So I mean, it was unfortunate at the time, but the way that the plays ended up turning out, it had almost no impact on how the game played out. And he's gonna go into his Nidoqueen, and once again, I'm going to go into my Swampert. My Swampert is my answer. I can take whatever hit from the Nidoqueen that I want, except for 2 Earth Powers, as he actually goes for the middle of the road play and goes for Sludge Wave. I guess thinking that he could still take out my Swampert with Earth Power, but as you can see, my Swampert is so Spadef that after a Protect, I'm actually going to be able to live whatever hit this Nidoqueen wants to throw off and get a huge amount of damage off with Scald. So he goes for the Earth Power. I am able to Scald, get a bunch of damage off, and then thinking that, okay, he's seen that I Protect, I can always just go for that again. But, I mean, there's no point. I might as well try to catch him trying to take advantage of my Protect, and he does just Sludge Wave knock me out. But what this does, gives me a chance to go into my Mew and start setting up. Now, Mew at this point is in an amazing position. I get to +1 as he goes for the Sludge Wave. Now, this is a very important turn coming up. So Mew is at 62%. It is very easy for me to either get my +2 or to heal up back to full health. But he has an Araquanid. That Araquanid is the only thing that can come in and actually one-shot my Mew from where it's at. I mean, Mew is insanely bulky and is insanely specially bulky, as you guys saw in the team builder. So I'll be able to take whatever special hits he wants to throw at me. His only chance is to keep my Mew from getting up too many Calm Minds and to go into his Araquanid to try to check me. So knowing that's his only way of keeping Mew from doing too much work, I'm pretty sure he's going to go into the Araquanid, as I am going to fire off a Psyshock. I mean, worst case scenario, knocks out the Nidoqueen, and that's a plus for me, but he does go into the Araquanid. I'm able to catch that thing and 2-hit KO it. Mew will end up being at 80% and +1/+1. So, I mean, this is incredible. I mean, I'm up 5-4. I have a Mew that is set up at +1/+1 and still is going to be at 80% at the end of this turn, and I think that there's really not a whole lot he can do at this point to stop my Mew. So he ends up going into his Superior to try to revenge me, and admittedly this is where things start to go downhill somewhat for me. I mean, spoilers, I make a series of misplays that put me in a bad position. But Mew right here, I'm in an incredible spot still, because I am +1. I will be able to take a hit from even max special attack. I mean, I'm assuming Superior is not going to be timid, is not going to be modest, because that doesn't outspeed base 100, so he has to be timid. And at neutral, a +1 Mew with my set takes a maximum of 28.4% and is able to 2-hit KO the Superior with Psyshock. I mean, if it's a standard offensive spread. And even if Superior had gotten to +2, ultimately he would have been able to do, I mean, 28 plus 56 max, that would have netted around, I believe that's 84, and with leftovers, that means I guaranteed beat the Superior 1v1 even if he does get max rolls. So I could have just stayed in, hit the Superior for a ton of damage, and went from there. But instead, I overestimated Superior's ability, and that's assuming that he is just max special attack Superior, not any bulky roll. So I'm actually going to overestimate that, go into Decidueye, as I am somewhat afraid of a Scarf Superior being able to snowball and potentially beat me. So I'm going to go on my Decidueye, take that like it is absolutely nothing. I mean, that's nothing. That's absolutely nothing against Decidueye at all. I mean, if anything, like that was, yeah, I think that was close to, that was actually a near max roll on my Decidueye as well, and it only did 26.6%. So I mean, that's actually insanely lucky for me. So now I know I'm gonna get a kill with Brave Bird. I'm just gonna go straight for that. I'm able to take out this Nidoqueen, and now Decidueye is in a definitely very good spot to be able to win. He's going to go into his Hydreigon, and I'm thinking, okay, Decidueye is way too important to be able to revenge kill the Keldeo and the Superior. Skarmory isn't doing much for me, and if he overpredicts, I can always potentially just get a defog off. As he goes for the Dark Pulse, nice play. I mean, that's the nice safe play, and he's able to KO me with 2 Dark Pulses. Now, seeing that, I'm thinking, okay, he's gone for Dark Pulse. I'm pretty sure he is locked into it at this point. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure he's locked into it at this point. Regardless, I am going to go into my Tapu Koko and just try to roost up. I mean, Tapu Koko is going to be able to take the Dark Pulse, roost up to 100%, and the Hydreigon will go down to poison. Like, I'll just be able to stall it out, and then whatever he wants to go into, I can get a ton of damage off against that as well. So I am going to roost up on this play, as it's revealed he's not Scarf. So he bluffed me very, very well with the Hydreigon. But as you can see, this Tapu Koko is bulky enough to take that Earth Power. Poison unfortunately doesn't KO him completely, but what that does do, I mean, I'm able to knock him out with T-Bolt, so I mean, he bluffed me very well, and Tapu Koko is not nearly at as much HP as I would like it to be. I mean, I would really like it to be at that 85% that I had it at, but unfortunately that's not how things turn out, as he is going to be able to go into his Keldeo. I mean, it's 100% scarfed and is able to revenge kill me with Surf. So now I'm in a situation that, okay, I can do a couple things. I can go into my Decidueye, let it take a Surf and then Brave Bird to knock out the Keldeo, but then at the same time that would leave me potentially swept by Serperior, because yeah, I mean, Serperior would be able to outspeed everything, Decidueye would kill itself with Brave Bird, and that's just not a situation I would like to be in. So what I am going to do is go into my Mew, and I could Soft Boiled, I could Calm Mind, but I think the best play at this point is just to go straight for the Psyshock, put Serperior low, as my Mew will be able to take this on rather nicely. I mean, as you can see, I will unfortunately not be able to 2-hit KO it, but I will be able to get off 2 Psyshocks so that it is very low, and my Decidueye is my Decidueye can deal with it at this point. So, I mean, that second Psyshock, not quite able to take it out. He is at +2. My Mew's still at a decent amount of health. I don't want to sack it off quite yet. So what I'm going to do, Charizard is useless to me at this point. I'm going to go straight into that, keep him from getting HP back with a potential Giga Drain, which he does reveal right there. And then Charizard is just going to Mega Evolve and go down. So this was the probably the least useful a Mega Charizard X has ever been, but it goes down to Serperior, and this does give me the chance to go into my Decidueye. Now here is where I make the misplay of the game. Like, just straight up, I will warn you guys, I do choke away the game at this point. So with my Decidueye in, I have multiple moves I can go for. Spirit Shackle is just out of the question, as it's not something that can KO Keldeo. I mean, any one of my moves can KO Serperior at this point, like 100%. I ended up calcing it after the game. So what ends up happening is I go for the U-turn to knock out Serperior. Now, at my range, I will come back in around 32%, but at 44%, there is absolutely nothing Keldeo can do to knock me out except for Icy Wind. Keldeo also has to be timid in order to be able to revenge kill a +1 Megazard X, so I know Keldeo is timid for sure. Keldeo has to go for Icy Wind, and it has to be a Scarf Icy Wind to knock out Decidueye from 44%. And I knew that and was like, okay, well, I can just deal with it from there. The Serperior, I need to knock it out, and I need to figure out what I can do to win this game. So first of all, Keldeo has to lock itself into Icy Wind to win the game, at which point Mew can Soft Boiled up to win the game. Serperior, I can knock out with U-turn, with any one of my moves, like I said, and then it's either down to Leaf Blade or Brave Bird in order to KO the Keldeo. I way overestimated Serperior's bulk on this turn, leading to the choke. So I thought, for whatever reason, I had it in my head that Serperior could potentially be max HP, max defense, which Decidueye would not have been able to kill with a Leaf Blade. Otherwise, I would have 100% gone for that, as it did guarantee me the game. Decidueye would have been able to kill it with Leaf Blade, Keldeo would not have been able to kill me with any move it went for, barring a crit, and I would have been able to knock that thing out with Overgrow Leaf Blade. However, because I didn't calc the damage that Serperior did earlier, I had it in my head that it could potentially be max HP with enough defense to live a Leaf Blade from this range. So that's why I went for U-turn. It was very, very, very bad play by me because I did not calc to see what the Serperior was. I am going to U-turn, knock that thing out, go into my Mew, force him into Hydro Pump. And even at this range, I mean, I know Keldeo is going to be Timid Scarf. I mean, that's what he has to be in order to deal with my Mega Charizard. So Hydro Pump is going to knock out my Mew. I'm going to go into my Decidueye right now, and then right here, I'm at 49 HP. Now, you guys I can guarantee, already guess what happens based on the way I've been talking. Decidueye is at 49 HP. Timid Keldeo's Hydro Pump does a maximum of 50. In fact, the top 2 rolls are 49 and 50. Everything else would allow my Decidueye to live, and I'd be in Overgrow range to where I would kill it off with Leaf Blade. So, I mean, he still needs an absolute max roll in order to kill me, which you guys can guess he ends up getting, so I do lose the game. Now, like I was saying, there were multiple chokes on my part. Like, I played the endgame horrendously, and I have nobody but myself to blame. I don't want you guys thinking that I'm blaming hacks, because I am blaming myself for this. This loss was on me. Decidueye, what I should have done, I should have calced, should have known that Superior was max special attack, seen that it outsped my Mew and my Charizard, to know that there was no way he could have enough HP to live a Leaf Blade, and then Decidueye would have been able to just straight up win the game in easy 2-0 for me. But because I did not calc, I made a very poor play, ended up choking, and put the game up to RNG, which, I mean, it ended up going in my opponent's favor. I mean, I did not deserve to win the game based on my plays at the end right there, but I mean, it's one of those games, like, it really sucks when you realize that you had the win, but you ended up choking it away right at the end. And then the max roll, I mean, that was, like I said, I'm not blaming hacks. I am not. This was 100% on me. But the fact that he needed the max roll and got it to knock me out was just kind of salt in the wound right at the end. But either way, I think this might knock us out of potentially winning or getting top 3 in the league, as a 4th loss is something that I'm obviously going to try to bounce back from. But given that we inherited a 2-3 team and already 3 losses, I didn't think that I could afford a 4th loss in order to still have a chance to get top 3. But we will definitely see. I mean, crazier stuff has happened. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed watching me choke the game away. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And this is Styx signing out. Why not? See you guys.